Open up the door before we make any inside. Open up the door.
This next story, likely something out of somebody's nightmare out there, especially as we approach Halloween. So check this out. We just showed it to you. A costume trio gathering outside of this Alexandria, Virginia home earlier this week, demanding that the people inside that house let them in. At first, they rang the doorbell. Then they knocked on the door and they shouted things like, either you come out or we come in. But it soon escalated. The family says the trio attempted to force the front door open by jiggling the handles, breaking down a wooden fence in the backyard, and then slashing through deck screens, even pounding on the windows. At one point, the family says the trio shouted death threats and then promised to return. Tonight, the family remains concerned, and of course, they want answers. I want to bring in retired FBI special agent and NewsNation law and justice contributor Jennifer Coffindaffer. Jennifer, this video, oh my gosh, it is so disturbing to me. Obviously, the big question is, was this a prank? Was this somebody that had nefarious intentions here? The Alexandria police chief calling the incident a very serious matter, nonetheless, saying this trio of people, they may soon face charges, including burglary and criminal threats. So what do you think right now? Do you think they should be charged?
Absolutely, Alex. I think they'll be found and they'll be charged. Look, those costumes are dead giveaways. The fact that there's 3 of them, there's individuals within their family or friend group that know exactly who this is. And I think somebody will come forward, particularly if they put up a reward.
Yeah, I don't know if they're teenagers or what, but usually word gets around and, sooner or later a tip comes in that's helpful to the police. What about the family and how they handled that situation? We're told that they stayed inside, they called the police, they asked for backup. What would you recommend? Obviously, if someone's watching this video and thinks, oh my God, I hope that never happens to me, but they do find themselves in a similar situation, what would your advice be to them?
Well, first of all, Alex, the victimology here is very interesting. Why did they choose this house? I guarantee these individuals live very close, in close proximity. They bought those costumes in close proximity. Everything they did was purposeful to pick this house. Why? Because the individual there was a widower. This was an individual that would be an easy target. It's sad, but that's something I think they looked at. This family handled the situation perfectly, stay barricaded in. They monitored that Ring video and they contacted the police quickly.
Yeah, I don't know quite what time it took place, but I do see somebody walking in the background, so it tells me it's not the dead of night, so maybe there are also witnesses who caught a license plate or something like that. All right, let's talk a little bit about our rights as Americans, right? The family said, quote, our Second Amendment right was not used, obviously the right to bear arms, and could have been. The police chief echoed that sentiment, saying, do not go up to people's doors, make threats, advance to their doorways, and play with their lives because it can end very badly. So my question to you as the law and justice expert here, if the family had shot at that trio, do you think that they would be considered self-defense here?
It would be, yes, a standing your ground, self-defense. Every state is different, Alex, but essentially when you go up to somebody's door and if you breach their property, which they did, remember they went in through the back fence, they tried to cut screens, they definitely could have put themselves in harm's way if their Second Amendment right of those individuals inside would have been used.
Right, and then an interesting follow-up is maybe the psychology behind it all, because we're seeing this video come out close to Halloween. People wear costumes around Halloween. It makes me wonder if other people out there with bad intentions, criminals, might wear a costume, a mask, in which case the person that they're trying to attack or intimidate actually is disarmed. They just think it's a harmless prank. They think that it's somebody that's out there celebrating Halloween, and next thing you know, they're a victim of a crime.
It's so true, and we're getting ready. Halloween's around the corner where we're going to be opening our door, breaching our doors for individuals that are strangers. Now, obviously, when they're children, we shouldn't have that much worry, but with these teenagers and tall adults that are going to be coming around, it's a little off-putting, especially in light of this. Remember the trick-or-treat murder that took place many years ago? That is where a masked person did just what they did, but the person opened the door and they were killed.
Jennifer, what do you think is the first step that investigators and detectives are going to take to try to crack this case and find out who these people are?
Number one, I would be going to the Halloween stores close by that sell these types of costumes. These are very unique costumes. They're expensive costumes, and I think they're going to be able to trace that. The other thing is surveillance videos.
Right.
All of those ring cameras and street cameras, they're going to be looking at that.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.